Okay, so this is my Vetro Pro Pac Tech MCT. So we'll just open up the first front side here. I keep a magnet in this pouch. It's just like two ceramic magnets kind of taped together. And that gives me like an area to drop like some bits or like screws for projects I'm working on. Starting up here at the top, I have this like kind of Klein ratchet thing. I used to have like used tools in here and like older stuff or like things that like you know, seconds and thirds, and so I've kind of upgraded that over time to mostly like really high quality tools, because I find that when I have this bag with me, it's like the only thing I have with me, and I don't really want to be like struggling or fighting. So I have this like little Klein stubby thing. I also have one of these like 1/4-inch bit drivers in here. This accepts like 1/4-inch bits, like that. But it goes on a regular like 1/4-inch ratchet. So I have one of those right here, just a 1/4-inch ratchet, because I find I like having an actual ratchet instead of using this with the adapter. I have some, keeping with the sockets, I have some Makita impact sockets here. They're 1/4-inch, and they come with these like little bit adapters, like that, and then they would kind of go with this, or in like a drill of some sort, something like that. Moving on here, I have an assortment of bits, just like commons, like 1, 2, and 3 Phillips. I use a lot of 3 Phillips, not a lot of people do. I have like some common torque sizes. I think this is T15, T25, and 27, or T20 and T25. So 15, 20, and 25. I have one of these Malco, like little 5/16 and 1/4. Oops. Here, we'll get that out. Malco 5/16 and 1/4-inch like flip socket thing. These are okay if you're working on appliances or something like that. I don't actually end up using this that much. I normally find that like I need deeper fasteners, but this is okay for just like sheet metal screws and stuff. In the top row here, I have, or in the back side, I have a Knipex 10-inch Cobra adjustable plier. I had the smaller one in here, but I find that I really want the larger one if I'm only going to have one with me. This is the one I want, and of all the pliers in here, this is probably the most useful one. See, I have the Knipex or Knipex, I think it's a twin grip thing. This thing's okay. It's a little, the button thing is fine, or it's a little finicky. I mean, I like that it has a lot of adjustment, but I think I would have just preferred a normal style hinge on here where they just had like the 2 positions, like a traditional slip joint pliers. I think this one's like just a little too fiddly, and it's kind of embarrassing when you take this out and you start like kind of fiddling and trying to get it adjusted, and it's like not the right size. You got to pull it out. If you're working with somebody else, I kind of find it actually a little embarrassing using this or pulling it out, so sometimes I kind of avoid it. I'll just go with like the regular kind of traditional channel lock style, or some other pliers to grab something. But when you do really need these like biting jaws, it's kind of like the only thing that really works. So it's good to have. On the top here, I have a couple of picks. I did have like the pointy one, and then the like kind of complex hook. I like that one. This is probably my favorite pick style, but sometimes you need a pointy one. This is a nice, really nice, it's almost like a small linesman pliers, but it's not really a linesman style. I think they call it like a combination plier. I find that this is like one of the best pliers that Knipex makes, just for like most tasks. If I only had to have like one with me, or if I was to keep one in the glove box of my car, this is probably something that I would choose. I have a Klein cutter. The reason why this is not Knipex or anything, Klein is also a great brand. I have lots of Klein tools. It's just this is the one I have in the bag right now, and this is an excellent cutter. I have no like second guessing the quality of that thing. If there's something I'm afraid I might damage my normal diagonal cutter with, I have these bolt cutters. I will say I don't really use these very often. It's nice because they're very high leverage, but the capacity of them is just like, for what you're going to be cutting with this, also you can use this, so it's kind of like, I don't really know. I don't use this that much, but I do have them in here, and I don't know, it's one of those things where like I'll be afraid if I don't have it and I need it one day. This is a nice Negisaurus. I think this is rebranded in the United States as Vampliers, but I have the Japanese version, the imported version. I like the, you know, this is the thing I like about this one is it's a nice like beefy needle nose pliers. It's not too tiny or too precise. I feel like a lot of needle nose get into like a tweezer type territory, so these ones are really good for like grabbing wires, like solid you know, electrical wire, and like manipulating or something like that. And then it does have like a screw grabbing feature, which is useful for very tiny screws. I've only used that once or twice because I didn't have the correct fastener, and so I had to get a fastener out, and I didn't have the size I needed. So I was, this is something that I used in that instance. But this is a good pair of pliers to have for this bag. I have the Knipex, whatever these are called, the parallel jaw adjustable pliers. These are okay. I like them. They're supposed to replace a traditional adjustable style spanner, but I actually find that a lot of times this angle is really not what you need for where you're working, and sometimes you need to come in more straight, like with these traditional style of adjustables. So I actually do opt to keep one in the bag as well. But this is actually very handy just for its like grabbing force. And a lot of times I'll use this for like bending sheet metal or something back into like its original shape, because with these jaws it really won't mar up like paint or finishes, and you just have like a tremendous amount of leverage with this like pivot design they have here. So these pliers definitely earn their space in the bag. You can't have any tool bag, in my opinion, without a locking plier. So this is like an original, the Vice Grip original, but I think this is one of the newer import ones because it's got that thing on the back, which is fine. So I like having this on hand, and like this, when you need an actual like locking jaw plier, you need it. So these are really great to have, and I wouldn't have a tool bag without that. All right, so in the back here corner, I have just a putty knife. This is like a really old one that I've had for a long time. I don't even know what brand it is. It's like covered in mastic or something. But I don't know, this one's like a sentimental one. It's like, when you have a tool for a really long time and you've used it so much, and it has like this patina, and it's just like the corners are all like kind of, softened and everything. And this is just a nice putty knife. So I like having it around because you always need like a scraper or a putty knife or something flexible, some type of shim, when you're fighting something. Or even if you're going to make a patch, I mean, obviously this is good for a patch. You're going to do actual putty work with it. So this is a good one to have. I like having it around. And then I have like this thing. It's like a Stanley like little claw thing. I mean, these are whatever. They're good to have. You always need something, some type of pry bar. So that's good to have on hand. In the front here, I have just like one of those masonry chisels. It's just a 1/2 inch one. Looks like it's a Stanley Boss Stitch or whatever. These are fine. I like this one because it's yellow and so you can see it. I have a nail punch right here. One of these like center punch things. I really need to get like a proper like automatic center punch for this bag. This is okay to have. I don't like that it's two-handed, but it's actually a really high quality one. And I believe this is also made in the US, so it's not like an import deal. And I have this locking extension. These are good to have on hand. I don't have a drill in this bag, but I often bring a drill with me, or an impact driver or electric screwdriver of some sort. So, this type of thing, when you need an extension, it's nice to have a locking one. And I like the way that this one works because you just kind of push it in, and then it's in, and then you pull this little collar back and it's out. So I bought these recently because I was just like looking to get some that actually lock instead of using the magnetic retention style. And I've been pretty happy with this like Diablo one, and I think I've seen this same locking extension in a few other brands rebranded. So here I have I used to have just bit screwdrivers like these where you pull them out and it's like all the bits and stuff. I used to be the only thing that was in this bag, and I find that I really want like dedicated screwdrivers. So I picked up a couple of Vessel screwdrivers, just a number 1 and a number 2 Phillips here. These are really nice, and I got these mainly just to try them out, and I've been pretty happy with them. I like the knurling on the shaft there, and you can magnetize them or whatever, and the tips seem to really fit very well. I do kind of wish that they were like labeled on the back. I mean, I could tell that they're number 1 and number 2, but when you have a whole set of screwdrivers in there, a lot of times, especially if someone's working with you or helping you, it's really nice to just be able to like go and grab the one you're looking for. Like even Klein does it. Like this is labeled as a standard, but it doesn't say that it's a 3/16. You got to like look at it, or just know the size of the handle that this is a 3/16 standard. That's fine. I got like a little snap-on magnet thingy here. This is just nice for just retrieving screws. I like the magnet on that end, and then it's got a little pocket clip so you put it in your shirt pocket or whatever while you're working. And it's just just a tiny flat. You need those. This thing it's okay. I wouldn't buy this again, I think. I mean, the main selling point of this like battery-powered screwdriver is that it was inexpensive. I don't know if they're supposed to be like this. I find that this one a lot of times will not lock up like that. It just like skipped there. So, you know, what you end up doing with this is it's kind of low torque. So you're running your screw out and then you get to the end, or you're running your screw in and you get to the end and you got to give it the final tightness. So you turn it by hand. Or if you're going to take a tight screw out, you back it off by hand and then you can power it out. But I just find that this like mechanism, this gear mechanism, it slips. It's here right there. I got it slipping. So it's kind of a piece of junk. I mean, I still keep it in here. It's okay, but I don't like it. The second thing about this I don't really like is these buttons. Like, they're like invisible. You know, when you're working, you can't see what you're doing. You can't feel them on there. So you always got to like turn it and then find them, and then you got to change your position up here. I just wish it was like a paddle switch or something back here, like at the palm area. They put it too far up here, so maybe it was in this area, but it should just be like a big chunky paddle switch or something. So I'm not a big fan of this design. Like, it's okay, but yeah, I mean, the main thing about this was it was cheap. I do like that it has lights on it though. That is cool. And I also like that this collar here free spins and locks. So anyway, moving on. I got this Klein here. It's a 14-1. This comes with like a standard set of bits, and what I've ended up doing is I replaced these with just hex keys. I find that there really wasn't a good place to have hex key screwdrivers in this bag, so I got a set of like Weehaw ones here, and I just picked out like the All-Stars, the ones that I run into all the time. So like these are the standard ones on this side, or actually those are metric. So this row here is metric, and then this bottom row right here, these are standards: 3/32, 3/16, 7/32. You know, you got the four up here, the 5, you know, the 2 and the 2.5. So anyway, that's good. This thing also like comes out. You can put that in a drill. That's fine. I use that. Up here I got looks like a 1/4 inch Klein. This is the demolition one with the cap and like the super hardened tip. I just want, you know, if I was gonna have one flat in here or one standard in here, I wanted it to be like kind of a beater. I don't want to like have to hesitate on that. And then up here on this side, I got a couple of precision screwdrivers. So this is like the 5-in-1 or whatever, you know, Phillips and standard. And then this one is security Torx. You know, so you run into those when you do, you know, security Torx a lot. So these are good to have. Down here I have a couple of extensions for my ratchet. I have like a pin or something. I think it's like a door hinge pin. I don't know what this is from. It's like a piece of scrap metal I found one day, and I like ended up hitting something with it, and I put it in my bag, and I've been there ever since. And then this is cool. This is like a folding chisel. I try to keep this one sharp and like not mess it up. But this is actually a really good one. I've had this for a long time. It's like kind of like a butterfly knife or a bally song, like kind of folding chisel. And I like this because obviously, like, you know, it's stowed. It's very, very safe like that. And you can definitely hit on this and it's not a problem, you know, for like wood and soft materials. And then I got a scraper here. This is an old one, Red Devil, made in the USA. I find that these are, like, this one is just a lot better than a lot of the junk ones you get at like the hardware store now. You know, they're all just manufactured down to like pennies in terms of their cost to make these things. And you know, this older one, it's got a nice patina on it, and it just locks really solid. And when you're scraping, you know, I hate that when you're scraping and they start collapsing on you. So I just put a little piece of string on it so that I don't forget that it's like down there like that, you know, and it's very easy to take out. So that's that side. I got a couple other things, like, you know, just like another extension with, it looks like a 1/4 inch hex in there, and then, you know, socket adapters and things like that. Very tiny little standard precision screwdriver. I think that's it for this side. So there's my magnet in action. So we'll zip that up. Like I said, I only keep a magnet in there. This whole pocket is just a magnet. And then I have, like, it looks like some sticky notes. These are the super sticky ones, like where it's like almost full adhesive. I use these just to like label stuff, and you know, that holds pretty good. I got another little scraper in there, and it looks like some sandpaper or something, so we'll just put that back. On this side I have, you know, a couple rolls of tape. This is just like a strong magnet with a cap. This is like a pen. It's like an oiler. So I find this is pretty handy. Like, you just kind of come in, it's like a Aries something, I don't know, but like you just go in, you can just put a drop of oil on something, and then that stores it in with a little thing so it doesn't like leak all over your bag. I keep like a 3-in-1 oil in there. And then I have a flashlight. It's like an Olight i3 something. And I have this Milwaukee one too. This one's pretty good. I like this because it's, you know, magnetic and stuff. you know, you could clunk this. It's really good like under a cabinet if you're working in like a sink or something like that to have a magnet light like this, or if you're working in like a machine, you know, like some type of machine cabinet. You open it up like an air conditioner or whatever, and then you clunk that to the side. You can see what you're doing. That one's pretty handy, and then this is the one I end up like holding with my teeth most of the time. You know, a couple rolls of tape, like I said. This is a little Klein magnetizer, demagnetizer. That's good to have. And this pouch, I keep looks like some extra like bits and stuff. And the rule with this is I try to have everything be driven with the 1/4-inch hex shanks, because a lot of times, like I said, I'll use a impact driver with this kit. So even these drill bits back here, I keep like a set of drill bits. These are, I think, the DeWalt brand. I have them in this holder, which is like from something else. But yeah, just I have a set of drill bits here. These are good to have on hand, and they all have the hex shank in terms of like how they lock up. So yeah, I don't, like I said, I don't keep a drill in this bag, but I'll often do have it, and so I want to have this stuff on hand. On this side, I have just Milwaukee kind of knife, one of the fastback ones, and I think it's got some extra blades in it, so that's good to have for obvious reasons. It gets kind of hung up there, and then I keep like a blue Sharpie, fat pencil, and like just a pen and a small tape measure. I don't really need like a big one. In this pouch, looks like I got a lighter, and that's it. Just like a little butane lighter in there. And then on this side, I have the Knipex scissors. These are pretty good. I kind of dinged these up like immediately after I got them, because I was like cutting a coax cable, and I didn't know the coax cable was steel core, so I kind of dinged those up, but you know, it buffed out. It wasn't a big deal. I got the Klein multi tool pliers. This covers like a pretty good range of like stripping, and then I mainly like that this covers more screw cutting options than a lot of the other like installation pliers that are specifically focused for like electrical work. I got a spade bit in there. We'll just leave that in the front. And then this is some of the stuff that I have. So I got this, you know, flush cutter. This thing's kind of junk. I'm like a little disappointed in this, to be honest. It's like kind of stiff, and like it's just not as good. Like honestly, I've had like cheap and free flush cutters that have come with like 3D printers, and they're better than this one. So, you know, take that what it is. I got a longer 12-inch extension here in the back, same as the other side. I have this thing. This is kind of weird. I found this in a toolbox or something, like used. It's a like multi-tap tool, so this is for tapping like standard screws, and I've only used this a couple of times, but you know, I keep it in here because it's kind of one of those things that'll get you out of a bind. We got a couple files here, like it looks like a triangle and a round file. Zip ties in the back, stick of hot glue for the lighter. This is like a level slash angle thing. Hot glue, like I said. This is my, I keep a Cat 5 cable that I made, and a Cat 5 tester. So that's good. Some of the networking stuff that I do occasionally when I have to. Just a chip brush, just for cleaning up and, you know, stuff like that. I got like a nice bastard file in here. It's got a combination like rasp and like just coarse file. So that's a good one to have on hand. Circuit tester thing. I keep a set of security bits here. You know, just various ones. This is just an extra set I had, and you know, I keep that in the bottom of the bag there, just in case I ever need it. Just some wire and stuff, more wire, you know, just stuff that like you end up like you're working on something and you throw it in the bottom of the bag. Just a bunch of like, you know, random connectors and stuff down here from various tasks. My Klein crimper, this is the old style one. It doesn't do like the pass-through connectors where you have the Cat 5 cables coming out the front. But that's okay, because usually like, you know, you can just kind of trim those and pull them back, and then you just finish the crimp with this. There's a technique for that. Maybe I'll do a video on it one day. This is like a jab saw blade that I stuck into a golf ball. It's probably like, you know, I think I was like working in like a cavity in a wall, and I had to like cut a pipe off or something, and I didn't have like room. So like I was like working inside a wall. So I made this, and then it just kind of went back in the bag. This is like a folding Milwaukee knife. I've used this like once or twice. It's okay. You can cut stuff with it. I liked that folded. It kept it like small, you know, so it kind of fits there. This is a multimeter from Radio Shack. Like they're extinct now, but I got this I was like on a site like working one day and I needed a multimeter and like I didn't have one, and so I just like went to a Radio Shack that was like in the plaza and I bought it, and it's been in, and it's in this bag now, so it works still, and it uses 9-volt batteries, which I like because they don't leak. It doesn't seem like they leak anyway. Here's like a little iFixit like pry tool thing. I keep a precision tweezer right up here and another iFixit thing. And then here's just like Band-Aids. I got some grease. I got some fishing line with a sewing needle, business cards, and earplugs and stuff. And that's pretty much it. That's my Vita bag. Oh, one more thing. This is like the most important part of my bag. Seriously, these two pouches come out every single time I do like anything ever. And what it is like, I call these my trail mix, and so this is just a bag of like screws and anchors and extra hardware and like little nuts and bolts and things like that. And so a lot of times like you just need that, for when you're working on stuff. It's got washers in here or whatever, so this will just like save your butt. And then usually you got extra hardware or whatever, and I'll throw that back in there, and then usually I kind of just shake it to flatten it out. And, it rides like this one. And then this is the one that's like electrical connectors. So I have like some, these are my Cat 5 crimps. And I have like some of these like Wago fire starter things and butt splices and Cat 5 couplers and stuff. So these are just like different common like little connectors and things that I use. And like I just always shake them, I shake them like this and I get them kind of flat. And they go right there in the front. And that's like kind of my emergency like little hardware coffee can, and I just keep that in this bag like that.